Hey man, this is Hulvey, and you watching the Rapzilla pin game. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Check the pin game, check the pin game. Got your favorite rappers going insane. Then we run the gauntlet like the end game. So what you waiting for? Check the pin game.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Justin Sarachik, editor-in-chief of Rapzilla.com, and we are here with another episode of Pen Game 101, and I'm here with my panelists, Elijah Matos, Richard Cutright, and Freddie Hicks. Shout out to Luke DiMarzio, who's here in spirit. We miss you, Luke, but we got Freddie, so we good. So anyway, we have Hulvey coming on later, and we are doing his Keep Breathing initiative, which as of right now is only 2 singles, but I have a hunch that Hulvey is going to tell us a little bit more about this. So Pen Game 101, obviously we got the pen. What is the pen? We're going to break down and we're going to review the tracks. Then we got the actual game. The artist is going to join us, Hulvey, and he's going to play the game with us. And then 101, he's going to take us to school. We're going to ask him some questions. He's going to tell us some things about his project, his songs, and everything that's going on. So right now, let's kick it off with the pen. And Eli, start us off with the pen. What are your first thoughts on his track, The Other Side?
Yeah, man. So Other Side, I think the lyric there, the bar that stuck with me the most had to have just been this visual of I seen the other side of the mountain. For me personally, it brought me back to sort of the closing of Exodus, where Moses is standing before the promised land right before he passes. He's not able to enter, but God grants him the ability to just look at the promised land, look at what Israel was working towards for the past 40 years. So I think Hulvey's he's bringing some of that into it, where it's like, man, he's climbed this mountain already there. And not just him, but people in general, we're all experiencing a certain level of challenges, but we've already made it to the peak and we've seen the other side. So I think it's all about just realizing how God is bringing us through even the most challenging circumstances and trusting in his sovereignty to lead us and let us see the glory of what's to come.
Word. So I agree wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? I think this mug was spicy. Like the hook is super sick and like catchy. Like if coronavirus was a sound, it would be this song. And you know, the beat was tough. He kind of sounded like the postman though in the first part of the hook. Like I had to check the mailbox. Was like, hello, Mr. Postman, how you doing? I mean, but that's probably due to the raspy nature of his tone there. What's so crazy is the second verse when he started talking about Ahmaud Arbery's murder and how it affected and weighed on him. And he kept going and touching on systematic racism in the prison system. I got respect for this man 100-fold. He dropping bars, encouraging people, speaking on justice, all while commanding a wave like he Aquaman over there. He just kept swimming with the wave, you know what I'm saying, in there, bro. I respect that 100%.
Probably be the greatest description of his track that he will ever hear.
No, honestly, like the part that stuck with me the most is just the keep climbing, because like literally that's so important for people because, you know, you hear about artists talk about their struggles and stuff and you hear them say that they have issues and they'll touch on it and go. But what Hulvey did was he actually encouraged the listener. He said, yo, keep climbing, like just keep going. And that's big for me because in this whole season of quarantine and stuff, there's been some moments where I'm just like, yo, God, is this where you need me to be at right now? And he'll confirm it. But, you know, whenever you hear like an artist listen to tell you, you know, I understand, keep going. Like I see, like Eli just said, like I seen the other side of the mountain, like keep climbing. That's I feel like a lot of people need to hear that and understand that these artists aren't just big people who just don't, you know, experience life. They go through struggles also.
Yo, that was almost like the little engine that could of Christian hip hop, bro. Like, right, keep climbing, chugga, keep climbing. That was it, bro.
So Cuts compared this man to Aquaman, little engine that could, and with the just keep swimming thing, he's also Dory. So Hulvey, you're a multifaceted dude already. Sure. Heaven Up Above is a really interesting one just because between the visuals, the sound, the tone Hulvey's singing in, all of it is just so overwhelmingly happy. You know, that's so strange in 2020 where it's like everyone's all sad and everyone's worried about coronavirus and protests and all these things that are very big social issues. And it's not that Hulvey's ignoring those because he says, I know the pain's here, but the love is too. And I think Hulvey with Heaven Up Above between the visuals and just the song itself knows how to strike sort of this perfect center point where it's like, man, we can acknowledge everything that's going on, but not just totally dismiss the fact that God is in control through all of it. And there's still love and there's still things to be happy about, you know?
Exactly, sir. There's a lot of things to be happy about. Especially this track is one thing to be happy about. I really dug this joint. It gave me like early Be Rife, Be Wreath vibes. But I could also hear like a drop of Drizzy in there somewhere. It was like just a dash. It was like this, and it was like just a dash of Drizzy in there. You know what I'm saying? But the hook was phenomenal. I feel like usually a record where the sample just keeps on repeating itself, like this beat did, would be annoying. But the lo-fi feel combined with the almost velvety smooth white chocolateness of Hulvey's voice added to the instrumentation of the beat. Made it super replayable, and I actually listened to it like 4 times in a row before I actually noticed that I was still listening to it. And then I listened to it one more time just because.
Even in the happy song. So I was on his Instagram live. Like he previewed this on Instagram live, and I heard this. Remember, I texted y'all. I said, "Whole new Hulvey song coming soon." But literally, I played it. That sample joint was nice. I'm like, I'm not gonna sing, but y'all know what it sounds like. And he's talking about having peace outside and how people are mourning because he understands that we're going like this. Like life right now isn't peachy. Like nothing right now is the way that it's supposed to be, at least in our perspective. But of course, God is in control. But in that same perspective, he's calling and he's crying out for heaven to open down, open the windows of heaven, pour down your blessings, overflow. That's what he just kind of, flipped that song, said, heaven up above, show me all your love. I couldn't find a way until you made it. And, in this time, a lot of people are trying to figure out, which way what are they supposed to be doing? What are they supposed to be doing with their life? Because it feels like their life is worthless. And we have to ultimately trust in God to make that way. And that's what Hulvey is talking about in this song.
Here's an exclusive track for y'all. Only we've heard it. It's called Reasons, and it's featuring Lecrae, and it doesn't come out till 2021, but we got it, and we're going to tell you about it.
But for all you old reach heads who want them to start preaching on tracks, I think this is a pretty good modernization of that concept. I think this one represents really good openness and vulnerability from both of these guys. Hulvey opens up about his grandfather's death when he was younger and just being concerned about whether or not he's going to heaven. I think that's just such an honest concern, particularly from a young person. Lecrae's got stuff about shootouts and having people he knows locked up, and all that placed in contrast the image of him being forced to his knees and just praying to God in lament, but also in praise. So I think there's a sense of openness and affirmation of who God is in the track, even amid all the chaos. So, I think it also works perfectly in like the post-restoration era, right? Where Lecrae has brought together all the things that he's been over the past 20-something year, or not 20, but over a decade of music. I think it works really well, and it combines everything we heard from him on Restoration and brings it into Reasons.
I really like this honesty approach that Hulvey has with his music. Like these bars here, he said, I spent late nights, I was scared to die. I ain't want to see the grave. I was playing games with my heartbeat instead of slowing down just to pray. Like those bars have spoken for many of us at one time, including yours truly. You know what I'm saying? And then he comes to himself like the prodigal in the pig pen. Run around the same circles don't make you feel brand new, or laying out the revelation that most of us came to before surrendering our lives to Christ. Then the super triple OG, Cray Cray came through and shared some of the issues going on within his family, cousins being locked up, his father having a Rona, and a bunch of other stuff. I felt like this song, like all the others, had an underlying theme of hope. However, this song was more intentional, in my opinion, just due to the nature of the hook, the melody, and the structure of the beat. I think it most definitely continues to further showcase this young brother's versatility as an artist, and I look forward to hearing like what else he got for us.
It kind of, not going to say dark, but it dealt with the hard things that we go through in life. Like if you hear a song, you mention a dude like, hey yo, this song gonna go. You hear my dad had corona. Like, wait, what? Like, hey yo, my friends got shot. And I relate to that because around this time last year, I lost a friend to, gun violence. And around Christmas time, I lost a friend to gun violence. And to hear people talk about that in their music, and the hook was beautiful, by the way. The hook was beautiful. The singing, just the keep breathing part. And I wonder if that's going to be a big one whenever like the album drops, prayerfully, because that one, that's huge. Just to hear them talk about the bad things of 2020 and dwell in that, because there's a time to cry, there's a time to be happy, and they let us know that this is a time to cry and it's okay to mourn.
So that was the pen. We broke down the pen game of Hulvey. We broke down the words. There wasn't much content this time for songs, but we are confident that Hulvey is going to give us tons of good stuff. So here is the transition to Hulvey fade. Of course, our special guest of the day, Mr. Hulvey of Reach Records, who is working on his Keep Breathing initiative. You've probably seen his music video for Other Side and Heaven Up Above, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about the project and the things that he's working on. And of course, we're going to play some games too. And that's it. That's Pen Game 101. So let's dive into this now and kick it off with the game.
It's time, yo. Let me tell you, it's time for a game called Build-A-Bar. All right, since you's a rapper, want to see if you know what I'm saying, if you got that upper echelon pen. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna throw you some words, and you got to come up with some rhymes from the words that we give you. But ain't no so regular words. Ain't gonna be like B, N, C, P. We got some words for you.
Let's go.
All right. So the first word is Bulbasaur.
Bulbasaur, definition, please.
Bulbasaur, the Pokemon with the vines on them.
Oh, Bulbasaur?
Bulbasaur, my guy.
Ooh. Okay. Bulbasaur. Oh, all right, bet. All right. Okay. In this faith life, I'm like Harry Potter meets Voldemort. I met Christ, now I'm chopping down the Bulbasaur. Set me up. There we go. Keep on coming.
Okay. Publix.
Publix. Let's see, man. Oh, yeah. So I'm a skinny kid in the gym. I had to muscle it. The young kid in the meat shop like Publix. I told my brothers when I'm back in the trap meet when I run this. Dang, that one's bad. Run that back. Give me another one.
All right. Colgate, the toothpaste.
Ooh, all right. I know the science behind Christ, like phosphate. You clean my heart and my teeth like Colgate. I'm not a spitter right now, man. Dang, I need a beat.
All right, your heart beating right now because you on Pen Game 101.
Keep going.
All right, Damascus. That's the last one, Damascus.
They're like, hey, man, where the check at? Let's have this. But the government keep trying to Damascus. I'm like, hey.
Hope we keep dropping these classics. Give him the A from out of the baskets. Get him, Bo. Oh, good job, though. Good job. You probably had one of the cleanest flows, you know what I mean, out here with the freestyle. That Bulbasaur Baltimore, boy. I was like, okay, so
I felt good.
Yeah,
The Publix one was so familiar. I was like, I don't even know what to say. It's too familiar. Because I was like, dang, I actually worked there, man.
Exactly.
They threw that in on purpose.
Exactly.
I was like, what even rhymes with that? Like,
said Publix. Said Doublix.
Double X, double XL.
Yeah,
Doublix.
Right. Publix with a couple Hicks. You know what I mean?
Well, Freddie Hicks. We got Freddie Hicks in the chat.
That's right.
Publix with Freddie Hicks.
That's right.
Oh, that would have been hard.
Let's hit that second game right now. We got the trivia game. We're gonna put 1 minute on the clock, and that clock is me. So I usually cheat. But anyway, so you have to run through these questions real quick. So Freddie, you ready?
Yes, sir. Ready, Freddie.
Right.
Wow, I can't believe I just said that. But all right, so we got some trivia games. So it's all old Reach Records. Make sure you know your stuff. All right.
Yeah.
So what label was Lecrae signed to before he started Reach?
Cross movement.
Okay, cool. Only one of these CHH veterans were signed to Reach. Which one is it? The Truth, Jay Sun, Show Baraka, or Propaganda?
Show Baraka.
Okay, cool. What was the first album by the 116 called?
It was 116 Click, the compilation album, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Recite Romans 1:16.
For I am unashamed of the gospel of Jesus Christ. For it is hold up. It is the power.
Yeah.
For it is the power of God in me. Is that it?
It rhymes with Dalmatian.
Oh, it's the power of God and salvation? I forgot. I don't know the whole verse.
Dude, here, I'll finish it. Power of God unto salvation To everyone that believeth, to the Jew first and also to the Greek.
Oh, that's right. See, look, not gonna hold you. Most of the time, I feel like people, even me, like know that first part. It's like, for
That's
I
what we
must
all
stand
said.
the
We just
gospel.
know the
Man, that's
first part.
crazy.
So after Lecrae, who was Reach Records' first signee?
It was T-Dot, right?
Facts.
Yeah.
All right. Good job. Hey, that was good because I had to look up some of this stuff or make sure I remember.
Of all
So,
the
yeah.
ones I got wrong, I really wish I would have got that verse right. I ain't gonna hold y'all.
Nah, you good. We all just say, for I'm unashamed of the gospel, for it's the power of God's
I'm
salvation.
ashamed of the gospel.
Yeah.
That's crazy, the Jew and the Gentile part, though. That's real, too.
We quizzed you a little bit on the older Reach stuff. So now we're going to play a game called Run It Back. We know it's not Thursday, but we're still going to be a throwback. So first, we're going to give you an old Lecrae lyric, and then we're going to give you one of yours, and we're going to ask you to finish both verses. But we're going to start with Lecrae's. I'm not going to tell you what song it's from. I'm just going to give you the bars. You finish the verse.
Okay.
So this is the Lecrae one. Lord, kill me if I don't preach the gospel. Still in my 20s, but I'll die if I got to. Man, I'm already dead. Lord, forget my flesh. I done been crossed over. Seen a full court press.
Hold up. Been crossed over. Court press. I'm a full court mess if the Lord don't use me. Still, how's it go? Finish that up for me.
Running from my trials, thinking everything's groovy. If the cross don't move me, then I don't want to breathe no more.
If I ain't seeing Christ, partner, I don't want to
see no more.
Rep him every day.
Without worrying about a bruising.
Woo! Still in it.
I've been to China, man. I've seen some real persecution.
That's an old verse, man. Dang.
All right. We're going to switch up. Let's do one of your tracks, Hulvey. All right. So, what does it matter in the end? If I live my life without my family and friends, I could have a Benz and a big TV without nobody in the car or the living room seats. Take it over.
Oh, this that in the end track. Doesn't matter in the end. If I live my life without my family and friends, I could have a Benz or a big TV with nobody in the car or the living room seats. I don't even remember. I'm dead serious.
Instagram. Pick the fame or the fam, Lambo or the lamb.
Bro, you know something about that song? You know why I don't remember? I wrote that verse in the middle of the night. This is crazy. I wrote that verse. The reason why I don't remember this is because that song, I was at my house in Marietta, and I felt the Lord call me to go write a song about my family. I'm in the house. I'm about to go to sleep. I drive to the studio and finish. I start writing them in the studio, and that was the one song, bro, that I just I made it, but I didn't really sit with it. Man, that's crazy. I could have been interviews, Instagram, pick the fame or the fam, Lambo or the lamb. And then the hook is in the end, my soul. That's crazy.
I said we just pushed you to go back and check out your own song.
Y'all slick, man. Y'all just made me listen back to something. I forgot about that song.
Hulvey ran through the games. You did pretty good, man. Everyone who's done the games has done pretty well.
I know the old stuff, but then when you hit me with a whole verse, that's when I struggle. I know the history and I know the records, but I'm a sound guy, so I'll be listening to the sounds.
So now this is the 101 portion of the show. And game 101. You're going to give us the 101. We're going to ask you questions about yourself, about the project, and you're going to take us to school. That's the 101.
Yeah.
So we're going to kick it off with Cutright, who's got the first question.
All right, word. So, Hulvey, check it out. On the other side, right, the joint was wavy, bro. You know, it was wavy, right? You took the time to highlight the issues of injustice and racism, citing that when you saw what happened to Ahmaud, that weighed heavily on you. This line in particular, you know, this is my time to speak to the people that think it's okay to see black folk die. What if your son died and they told you, mama, don't cry? Why do you feel it's important to make room to touch on that subject matter when you had such a limited amount of space for this project?
Yeah, so there was multiple things that went into it. First thing, which I have to nod my hat to, was when I was doing the record and I sent it to Ace, our A&R, he was like, bro, you should really, because he knows that what I have a heart for it. And he was like, bro, you should really touch on like what's going on. And then like the moment he said that, I tapped in to start writing it. Obviously, it just came out of me. And so I feel like one of the reasons like that it really hits home for me, and I feel like I needed to touch on it, was like that happened in my hometown. And so like that just created like, I mean, so much stuff happened in my hometown with that, like, you know, like protests and like people that really like rose up from what happened. But it also hit personally for me because he's from my hometown, and for me, I'm not black, I'm a white dude. So for me, I'm like thinking about it and reflecting on myself, and it can just, it's crazy when you see it from another perspective, and something like that, something that drastic happens, it really forces you to step into somebody's shoes. So for me, I was like, man, like I wanted to give perspective, like that line about like, you know, like what if somebody told like what if somebody told you mama don't cry? Like it's like it hits home, it hits different like that when it's in your own lane. Like what if like if I had a son and he got killed, like I feel like I would be, I don't even know like what I would be thinking or feeling. You know, I feel like it would just hurt so much. And so yeah, I just wanted to get to the sobering fact that it's so deep, and it's like, man, like we have to be able to resonate with like people's hearts, like in pain, because like Jesus did that. Like he met people where they were at, but then he called them higher. And so for me, I wanted to shed light, but in a way that points them to him. So I don't know, I just needed people to resonate. I wanted people, not needed, but I wanted people to resonate with that the way that I was able to in that season, because it did hurt me for real.
Yeah, Hulvey, I think one of the things that we've all been encouraged by, especially in these three tracks, is your particular heart for Christ and how explicit you are with that. So based on just who you are and what you're thinking right now, I noticed on October 4th, you tweeted out, "This is a call to everybody involved in CHH. Let's drop the politics. Let's drop the world's concept of success and lift each other up. Let's get back to Christ. Let's get back to what he does in our hearts. We family." And you clarified it wasn't about the politics of government, but the treatment of one another within the CHH space.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so the question really is just, can you talk to us a little more about what a Christ and collaboratively focused CHH looks like to you and what artists need to do to get there?
Honestly, I think first it's like defining like what you're in it for. So for me, it's like, dang, like if I have the opportunity to do this, then I'm gonna do it for him, first of all. Then with that, the next part is the people around you. So it's like, okay, if you're doing it for him, how are you like incorporating that with people around you? Like, what's y'all's goals when y'all are creating or when y'all are around each other? So I have multiple artist friends, and something that I've noticed and some of my friends have started to notice is like, man, there's like a sense of like competition that's happening. That's like think about this, like people call it Christian hip hop. And like if we want to label ourselves that, if that's like what you want to go under, then you have to hold yourself to like Christ's standard. Like our standard, like of trying to have worldly success, is not, it's just not what God like calls for. Like I don't know how else to put it. So for me, it's just like, man, like what does it look like to create in a room and like ask the Holy Spirit to speak to you? Or like the other day, like bro, like God put on my heart to like take a communion before we did like some sessions for some stuff. And like, man, like it was so beautiful and so much different than what I've seen in sessions, because it's based on his heart, not on like making a record just to make one. Like there's a season that I've been through where I was just making songs just to make them. And that, it just doesn't, I don't know. It doesn't touch people and it doesn't move me. And so, and I'm not saying there's not a place for that or there's not a time to have fun, but more so it's like, man, we need to check our hearts on like, what are we in it for? Because if we're in it for the wrong reasons, we're going to treat people like garbage. And the artists around us really are people. Like, so I feel like too, that's another thing. We're very political because we identify each other as artists and we miss out on the heart. Like people are going through stuff. Like music is a Band-Aid for a lot of people. And I feel like if we're not careful, we're going to see that Band-Aid and glorify it instead of realizing that there's issues behind it. You know what I mean?
You talk about music being a Band-Aid for people. You know, your song and your music, even from like when I first heard you, was Motions. and then you drop like, other side, and it's like keep climbing. So like my question is, like, your songs seem to be appealing to those who are going through hard times and struggles. Seeing that, musicians and artists often talk about what they go through in their music also, how would you describe your mental state throughout this whole season of COVID and the protests and everything?
There's been like different seasons, but that season specifically, I was just trapped in my mind, like not surrendering my mind to him. And so that stuff was like beating me up. Like there definitely was times during COVID, like I was thriving with him because I was like being disciplined. But to be honest, like during that stuff, like it rocked me hard and it messed me up because I wasn't rooted. My heart and my mind, I wasn't governing my mind from my spirit. So like my mind was just like in a jumble. Like, to be honest, man, I don't really know how else to put it. Like it was just in a jumble, and I was trying to finish an album, which God was blessing, and he was still working in my heart, and I was growing. But at the same time, there was little key things that I wasn't doing mentally. Like I was letting my mind control me instead of me, like instead of my spirit controlling my mind. So when all that stuff went down, like it was just a bunch of confusion, and you know what I mean? Like handling it the wrong way in my head. Like what happened to people, like it was wrong. Like what happened to Ahmad was wrong and it hurts. But at the same time, what you have to be careful of is not to let the darkness put you in a place where there's no light. Because like I was like boxing my mind like in and just feeling like, man, like what are we gonna do? Like, and it hurts, but it's like, man, like we have to keep in mind how good God is, and we have to keep in mind like that he's the answer to our pain. So yeah, I was just stuck in my mind at that time, just being honest. Like I don't
So so the next thing I just want to talk about on reasons, right? How you was talking about playing games with your heartbeat instead of slowing down to pray. Even like before this Zoom call had started, you was like, hey, before we jump in it, like, can we pray? Like how important, especially in the light of what you just said, in this season, how important has prayer become when it comes to the process of you creating a project?
Oh yeah, it's big. Like reason being is because if you let him, he'll give you vision, bro. Like God, like in the midst of making a lot of the new music, like dude, I'd be in the shower, like just with him, and he'd just be giving me stuff, like, and so it's huge. And not just talking to him, but listening, like letting him speak to you, like that's a part of it too. So yeah, like asking him to be in it with you is like huge. It's huge, bro. Like how you gonna like create like without the creator? You know what I mean? Like how you gonna like I don't know, man. Like we have an opportunity to speak to him and like fully and freely. And so if we make art, like we can make free art. So yeah, bro, it's huge. Like to pray and not. I feel like pray obviously, but even more so, like praying all the time. Like not even this, but like praying all the time, like they say in the word. Like man, like throughout the whole process, being in him. Not just being like, God bless this session, like the whole time, like I'm with you and I'm co-creating with you and I'm hearing your spirit as I'm creating. Like it hits.
I know I told you on Twitter, we went back and forth about how much I loved the song Different with Tori. And I told you that my wife actually, who knows really nothing about music, was like, hey, this sounds like Outkast. And you were like, for real? That's what it was supposed to be like. So can you kind of talk about how you and Tori got together to do this and this project that
Yeah, heck yeah.
is
So
coming?
yeah, so when I moved to Atlanta, like I just dove in to Outkast and I was like, man, this stuff is really good. And it's crazy because man, they be spitting real life. Like don't know where dudes' hearts are at or anything, but like especially Three Stacks, like his heart. Hearing some of the stuff that he was saying, I'm like, man, like they're speaking the real, but also the sonics of it, it just so catchy and so like, man, it just makes you want to move. It's like they got bars, but they care about like the sound, which is like the big thing for me. I love like the sound, like, and so yeah, like that's where that started, was just me enjoying their music, and then me and Tori are like best friends, and so we just been wanting to do a project, and we knew that we could like do it. We knew we could like, and we're still obviously still trying to figure out the ins and outs, but he came for a week and we just locked in. And that's where we made Different and some other records that were just, at the same time, we didn't do a bunch of records because we was having fun. So we was like really locking in on that Different one. But yeah, like, yeah, we were just like so inspired by how different Outkast was. And it was so cool because like when we were creating, we like felt that same vibe, but in like a new school way. So we felt like it was like, yeah, just taking that same feel but making it feel like us, like not trying to copy the blueprint, but more so paying homage. Because that's two different things. Paying homage and copying like somebody's whole vibe is like two different things. So yeah, like with the other stuff that we'll have, like you'll see like it's consistent, like it's gonna be different and strange to some people, like, but that's okay. Like, and it's been cool getting to play me and his stuff for some people because people tend to be taken by surprise with like the sonic of it because it sounds like old head music, which is so cool to me. I love that. Lord willing, there's more that we'll get to drop in that project. Like we don't want to force it, so we're trying to like organically go about it and do our own music. So it's like trying to finish it. And we got to get a group name, man. We can't just be Hulvey and Tori Deshawn, so we got to figure it all out, you know?
I think one of the things you talked about earlier that really struck me was just sort of the ups and downs that you've experienced through COVID and the protests and the craziness of 2020. And I think one thing that we all have experienced to varying degrees is that COVID's made it really difficult to focus on work. Just understanding that people are dying from this and just understanding how terrible it's or how terribly it's affecting our communities. But one thing that's interesting, Hulvey, is that you dropped about 14 new tracks and 2 re-releases in 2020 alone. So one of the things we really wanted to ask you was like, has the pandemic actually increased your focus and made you more committed to your craft?
Yep. Gave me more time because like shows got canceled. All the bookings lined up, like anything, inquiries, all that stuff was out the window. No tours. It was just album singles, all that was. And then I was locked in my room. The Reach guys gave me some equipment, and I just recorded like the whole time. So I stockpiled and focused and went in and like, yeah, had a vision too, like clear vision on stuff and like, yeah. So I really like low key, like hibernated, as in like I stockpiled everything and now I can just hibernate on it because it's just, yeah, a lot of music. It was a lot of like intentionality, which was cool too. Cause it was like, I started to find myself at certain points, like the more I would thrive spiritually, the more that the focus of the music would enhance and it would like start to sound like heaven. Like I feel like I started to get ideas that weren't normal and I was like, man, this is crazy. Like the more we tap into him, like the music just comes out so beautiful. And the music is just music, but it is beautiful that it's an expression of his heart.
You could describe the direction you're taking in your music innovation wise. How would you?
Yeah. To be honest with y'all, man, like I be doing quite about anything, but I've been leaning pop, like a lot of pop type stuff. And I guess it's just because like I've always loved like Justin Bieber's music or like Charlie Puth. Like I just Post Malone, any of that type stuff. It just hits me in a way that, man, like it just hits. It just sounds so good. So I've been doing a lot of that, to be honest with y'all. So like pop music, and I spit obviously, but y'all even heard it in the game. It's like I just haven't really. I've been rapping, but like God's had me in a place innovation wise where I'm just stretching myself. Like I really love melodies. I just love I love music that I can pull from all the influences. So I can take the hip hop influence, but I can like meld it in and make it universal for people. Like, man, because yeah, man, if I don't want to do what everybody else has done. You know what I mean? Like I get one chance. Like, you know, I'm definitely gonna keep spitting, but there's like a way to do it that's fresh.
Yeah, bro, you was singing though. You was singing. You was singing on that joint. You know what I mean? But no, part of your story is that you dropped out of college to pursue your musical career and singing and rapping, you know what I mean? Now you're part of the CHH Rockefeller Records, aka Reach. Do you see
Yes, sir.
yourself as the Kanye West of Reach Records? And
A
how
little
much
bit.
of a hand in the actual production portion of the records, like, do you have? Like, do you like make beats? And also, do you plan to go back to school to get your degree?
All right. I'll answer the last question first. No. And then I'm not going back. It's just not work out. That's just not happening. And then production wise, man, like I love production, and I started off as a producer before I did I was doing production for myself when I started. So I'm like so hands in on production. It's kind of cool because for me, I let people make beats, but I like being in the room, and like I just like sometimes I think people get aggravated because I'm like, nah, bro, like do this sound right here, like I hear it in my head, like you need to just trust me, like do this. And so yeah, kind of like yeah, y'all could probably tell, like I do see myself like Ye in certain ways creatively, where it's just like I like to go there, you know what I mean? Like I like to take it there, but at the same time, like I think I'm me. Like Kanye leans Kanye, and then Hulvey's gonna lean Hulvey. Like I see, like I feel like RG is like Kanye in a lot of ways. Honestly, Ace Harris is like Kanye. That's who's like Kanye West. Shoot.
Yo, hey, listen, if you ever decide to come out with some Hovies, I need a size 13 though, bro. You know what I mean? Over there. I just want you to know.
Spell it like HULVEEEEES.
You gotta put 7
Hulvey,
E's in there, bro. You 7 E's.
7 E's. Size 13. Bet. God lets me do that. Say less.
All right. Hulvey, you briefly mentioned RG, and it's interesting that you bring him up because we really wanted to think about so in the past 2 or 3 years, Reach has clearly made a push for signing younger talent. So we've already got you, Wande, Few, RG who's still signed, and then Aha who decided to take his talents off the label. But what makes a group of you guys who are younger special, and how do you expand upon what's already been done within CHH?
Yeah. I think it's just being ourselves, who God made us to be, tapping into like music, where music is now, because yeah, we all four of us have our own ear, and we all love different stuff. And also, we just have more ear for what's going on now. Like we all like really, that's where we're from, is this generation. So we came up on the Drakes and the Chief Keefs and you know what I mean? Like just different, like a whole nother generation. I mean, obviously Kanye and them, but more so like the innovators of the new school, like you know, and then Lil Uzi Vert, Lil Yachty, all that stuff, like has played an influence. I know on me, like for sure, but on them too. Yeah, Travis Scott, shoot,
So
yeah.
as a follow up to that, how often do the four of you have conversations about the future of our space, and what are those conversations like if they do happen?
I've talked to I've talked to RG, like, and RG was just always like, it's funny. He'll just be like, man, like, he's like, man, like it's gonna be big, man. It's gonna be big. Like 2021, like it's gonna touch like people are waiting. Which I love that he says people are waiting, because he'll follow that up by being like, man, like we have hope, like to give people, and like man, like people are waiting on Jesus, and I really like love it when he says that. It gets me fired up. We talked about that song. Trying to think conversations. Yeah, I think the person I really talked to that about specifically is like RG. I don't see Few a lot because honestly, getting in and out, it's really like a timing thing, where it's like everybody's just hustling to get their stuff in. But yeah, and then Wande is great. I'm trying to think about sometimes it's just really not CHH combos. Like it's more so just like, hey, like what are you working on, or like like you know what I mean. It's just not always like about the space, but when it is, I've typically like had a couple with RG, and it's encouraging to hear. So yeah.
Something that's really dope about you is so far this Hulvey brand is like ripe with intense visuals and music videos. So is that part of your vision, kind of the visual aspect of it, and how are those all executed?
Head on the nail, dude. Intense visuals is the key. I'm very like super intentional, man. like for this Reasons video, like we're gonna go all in, and like I'm just tired of performance shots. Like don't get me wrong, like other sides performance shots, but I want to tell a story. Like I wanted to feel like, man, like let's stop standing in front of a great background and flexing. We're good. Like nobody needs that no more. Like people can go do that. But even if it's a fun song, how do we tie in a story? How do we have fun? I'm on videos. I have videos and I'm on videos that don't really tell much of a story. Do they impact people? Yeah. Do people have fun with them? Yes. But does it maximize somebody's situation and does it help people? Like for real? Like I don't know. Like so yeah, I just think like for me, I really want to make crazy videos. One, because they're fun, but more so because when you have something to look at, it just hits different than just listening to something. Like man, like music can get old, but once you can tie a visual to it, it can give it a new life and it can just touch you in a new way. Like y'all know that Don't Waste Your Life video. Like it touched so many people. Like the Just Like You video, it's like deeper than music. It's like expressing God's heart in another way. Like and that's a whole nother type of art. Like and I love like videos. So for me, like yeah, very intentional about it, and I plan on never stopping that for all my stuff. It's gonna be always gonna be quality, quality, quality. And telling a story and being engaging with them fans like they're real people because they are.
One thing, I'm realizing with you as you speak is that, I mean, one, you articulated, but two, you want to make sure that you're exemplifying God through everything that you do, and you want to give him the
Yeah,
glory.
we better.
And
You know what I mean?
yeah, literally, because without him, we're nothing. And I can like hear like the love of God in your voice, and it sounds like, and I'm pretty sure you are. You're in your word. You're always in your word. You're always praying without ceasing.
Honestly,
So
man, that's
what's
something
up?
God's convicted me of. Like right now, that's something God's convicted me of is to read more. Because for me, like I'll spend time with Him or be talking to Him or praising Him, but He's been putting on my heart like, man, you gotta be in that truth. Because I found myself like not reading as much as I should, and I realized that when I don't have truth to stand on, that I waver or I don't know how to handle a situation or something. It's because I'm not standing on His truth that He gives me freely. So being honest, man, like I wish I was reading more. Like I don't want to sit here and just let you like. I appreciate that, but like,
Oh no, I understand.
you know
Not
what I
bro.
mean? Like I just
We
for
all
me,
we,
I'm
we
like,
all there. Yeah. Can you tell us about the YouVersion Bible plan and the curriculum you're working on, and like how
yeah,
that ties into your Keep Breathing initiative, bro?
yeah. So it's still getting worked on. I personally took a little break on it because I just wanted to be from Him, and so it's gonna match up with the theme of the music and um it's going to kind of tie into that whole what you inhale and exhale concept. But I just, what I told the team was like, man, I just really want to like do it from His heart. And so I'm just taking my time and I want to be able to really lock in on it because it's not just me, it's a team effort. Like something like a Bible plan, it takes a team. And I'm not always the best at like articulating or tying in, but like other people are, so they can help me. So yeah, I just want to make sure I can really tap in and do it right. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. It'll tie in like concepts from the music, but more so really like life stuff. From most importantly, like reminding us that we're connected to Him. So I just can't put out a Bible plan like until it's right, like until the Spirit like bless me. And I understand that it's a fun thing to do. Like I feel like it looks really cool when that happens. I don't take it lightly. Like I don't take it lightly to like put out truth to people, like just throwing it out there. But that's my opinion. But on it, I'm really excited about it. Like I think it's gonna be really good. Just needs to be done like right, and which is I really appreciate Reach for letting me take a pace on it because yeah, that just means a lot to
Amen.
me. So
The final thing would be, what do you got? What do you got for us? You said you had a little something for us.
I'm just gonna this like a little plug, a little leak because I feel like this would be good for the fans to know. So we got the next two singles coming out. We got the one with Lecrae, which is Reasons, and then one with Andy. Um, I'm not gonna give the name on that one, but I have a song with Andy, and I'm really excited about both. And I also have a track with Dante Bowe. Um, that I'm finishing. I don't know if y'all know him, but from Maverick City Music and all that. So like be looking for those. Really, really excited. Like all 3 of them are just songs that I really love. And I think people won't expect them from me, but it'll display my growth and it'll display my lane that I'm trying to take, like in where I'm at. So y'all will be on the lookout for that. And then some other stuff. Me and Few are getting one in. Me and Few are trying to figure it out. Me and Dill been trying to figure it out. But those, be looking out for those tracks that I mentioned because yeah, man, it's gonna be really fun. And I'm like, man, I can't keep hiding from people. Like, I don't like being that mysterious guy. Like, people should know, like, man, like, I'm excited about this. Like,
Before you said that you scrapped the project, why did you scrap the project and go the
we should
single
talk
route?
about it. We should talk about it. So
We should talk about it.
we should talk about it. I feel like this stuff isn't talked about enough. This is the stuff that people want to hear. So, finished the album, right? Like, I literally finished an album, like a full-length album. We were like, man, it came out so good too. Like, it was like, man, like, this is crazy. Like, me and Ace were both just really excited. And like, our bar is like classic territory. Like, that's the only way to do an album, in my opinion. And so we got it to where we wanted it, like for real. We just need a couple more pieces, just finishing the intro stuff. Then I'm just gonna give y'all a whole scoop. Like then that Juice World record came out. Y'all hear that? That Juice World record? The album
his posthumous album he
that they
dropped.
dropped after he passed.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a record on there called Come and Go. And it's like a rock song, like it's crazy. And Ace called me, bro. Like he called me, he was like, bro. He was like, man, that record, dude, is crazy. He was like, dude, like I feel like we can make stuff like this good. Like I feel like we can like go this crazy with it. And I was like, bro, we can. And so he proposed right on the spot the idea. He was like, man, like I just think we could go even further with it. Now, like I think we like basically it was like let's scrap what we got. Not scrap, but like separate. The stuff's still gonna come out, but in single form and stuff. It's like, man, let's just like leak it. Like, let's just keep going, basically. So it's not technically scrap, but it's like divided, and we'll figure out what happens. Some of the songs might still see the album, but yeah, like we are pushing for classic. Like we're pushing for like when you hear it, it's like, bro, like, man, like I just can't put out. I just like 50 Cent, like his debut album. You listen to that, it's like, bro, this like them boys put some time into this. Like you can just hear it, like in the music, you know. So yeah, I'm going for like what God has for me, and not just my idea of what's good, but like something that's gonna really rock people. Like yeah.
So were any of the Keep Breathing tracks from your album?
Oh yeah.
All 3
Every
of them?
single one of them.
Okay. Dope.
What? Yo, that's wild. Because I was like, I thought whenever you said like classic, I heard the 3 songs and I was like, yo, man, this must be from the new stuff. But considering that was the old music, that's that you're gonna like push even harder and create even a better product. So I thought that was from the new thing already, but to think that was from the old stuff, bro, you grinding for real, and I love to see it.
A lot, yeah. I just feel like why not, man? Like we get one chance. Like let's go hard, bro. Like even like with what y'all are doing, it's like, man, just go crazy with it. Like there's no point in settling. Like we don't have to settle. Now, is there a place when it's like, hey, you need to drop this? Yes. Like, and is like I said, like to clarify though, those songs will most definitely see the surface. Like they're already turned in. Like those songs are ready to go. But it's more so like there's so much untapped territory that we haven't tried yet. And it's like, man, like I would hate to never know. I would hate to never try. Like, okay, let's say I don't try. We can just use the album that we made. You know what I mean? Like, let's say that we try and it's like, dang, like this isn't what we thought. Cool. If we have a project that feels so good and so full of him. So it's like, man, that's the exciting part. Is when we get to it, you have options. Like you can choose what you want to do. You know what I mean? Like when you're not really working as hard as you can, all you have is like your one thing. And it's like, this is my one thing. It's like, man, what if your one thing doesn't work? Like, what if you're one thing? Like, what if you settle down for that and you had like 40 other things to go walk into and maximize as well? You know, so that's how I feel. I just feel like it's like keep hitting people upside the head with it until it's like, man, what else can we do? Like, you know what I mean?
All right, man. Thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate you. You came on here, you killed it. You gave us more than we asked for, which doesn't happen often.
Dude, I
So
love like this
appreciate
stuff.
that.
Like, that's what's funny is like with the freestyles, I used to be all about that, and now it's so funny. I feel like as time goes on, it's like you want to talk about the content. Like, I'm like, man, let's talk about what's going on. Like, that gets me going. Like, I love talking about the the art. Like that just hits
Yeah.
different for me.
Yeah, that was the whole point of this, pen game 101. Like we're examining the pen. Like we're gonna dive deep into it.
Hey man, guys, thank y'all for real. It was cool. Just man, I feel like it was just a joy-filled conversation. Like that,
Yep.
man. That was fun.
Yeah,
That
we'll
was
do
fun.
it again. We'll do it again sometime.
We will. And next time, y'all gonna have. It's gonna be more music out. So
Okay, dope.
yeah,
We'll run
yeah.
it back. You'll become the first second time guest on the show.
Let's do it. I'm
You'll be
excited.
teaching Pen Game 102. You'll be the next class.
Let's call it that. Let's do it.
That could be. I guess that's season
Maybe
2.
next time we can do it in person. Whenever
Okay,
COVID.
let's do it, bro. Thank you so much, bro. I'll talk to you later. We'll send you everything. Send me that track, and I'll send you the episode when it's done.
Say less. All right, y'all.
All right. So that was Hulvey. Hulvey was super awesome and genuine. Just like he was when I met him in Atlanta, as he referenced, he's still exactly the same person, just with a lot more clout, and he will never let you know it. So, guys, let's kick it around. What did you think about this episode and Hulvey and the games and the breakdown?
So I think the thing that's very just clear is just, man, that dude is so genuine. He's so optimistic. I don't know if I've met someone recently who just made you feel good to be in his Zoom presence more than Holvey. But yeah, he killed the games, which was surprising because those games are things that are killing people a lot of the time. But man, he really I think he's a really special dude, and I think I'm really excited about what he's got going on moving forward.
Oh yeah, like he's after God's own heart. Like you can tell that he takes his music and his anointing seriously. And like you said, like his answers, like you said, you gave us more. He gave us a lot more than we were asking. Like he didn't just answer a question at face value. He dived into it and talked about it, and he's willing to open his heart to people, and that's rare because even if they are a musician, sometimes they just don't want to talk about stuff like that.
Yo, so I feel like Hovey is a very nice young man. Very nice. If I had a daughter, I would, ask him to date her possibly. But yeah, man, I felt like the dude that I'm saying the brother's heart was on display today. Like even when Fred was like, his when he was asking him the questions and he was like, hey, for real, hey, bro, real talk. I'm not really in my word more, and that's something that the Lord is convicting me with. Like he could have just skimmed over and just let it be like something that was just hitting. Like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna let you think how you want. But he was like, nah, I have this flaw and I want to lay it out. I'm saying before you asked, I want to be 100% honest. And that in itself encourages other young people that's like him to be honest. I'm saying, like, as one thing, especially being an older dude, I'm saying a lot of artists, they hide, they cover up for the fear of what their fan bases will think, for the fear of losing notoriety and whatever else. But he's like, yo, this is, I have one chance, one shot, this is one life. And I want to be as transparent as possible while encouraging others to go forward. So beyond the music was saucy, you know what I'm saying? Sriracha was all over the joint. I had some picante, asked somebody to pass me the Heinz 57. It was on there, you know what I'm saying? But here's his heart, you know what I'm saying? His transparency, that his love for the Lord was fully on display. And I really, really liked that young guy. He was really nice, especially with that new haircut. You know what I'm saying? I approve 100%.
So that was Pen Game 101 with Hulvey. We ran the gauntlet of the Keep Breathing initiative. Thank you all so much for watching and seeing this whole thing with us. My panelists, Elijah, Cutright, Freddie. Shout out to Luke, who's here with us in spirit. But this was dope. Thank you, Hulvey, so much for joining us. And as always, tune in. Let us know what you liked. Let us know what you didn't like. If you want, drop some words for the freestyle in the comment or just different ideas. We'd love to hear them. And that's it. Tune in next time. Peace.
Yeah, check the pin game, check the pin game. Got your favorite rappers going insane. Then we run the gauntlet like the end game. So what you waiting for? Check the